Okay. Tracee Ellis Ross prefers younger men because of toxic masculinity.
Okay, so I get what Tracee was trying to say. I just don't think she articulated it properly. What I assume Tracee was trying to say is a lot of older men tend to be typically set in their ways. They believe that relationships should be ran a certain way, that I take out the trash, I do the masculine things, you're in the kitchen, you bear my children. Where she's saying that she believes that younger men tend to be more tolerant and more flexible with their views. Now, I don't necessarily agree with her wording, but I do think that that is the point that Tracee Ellis Ross was trying to convey.
I think she was saying that these old niggas don't want to put up with my bullshit no more. And
I didn't hear that.
I heard all of that. She was like, "Let
That's
me go
exactly
get."
what it was.
Yeah, I feel like
one of these young dudes who would do what I say. I throw some cat in their face, and they capitulate and stay in their lane.
Hey, but you know what's funny? You know what's funny is I don't hear any women getting on her telling her that she needs to date men her own age. But when Shannon Sharp got caught up, y'all said that he should be dating women his age.
Mm-hmm. But the conversation didn't really get to that point. So what are you saying?
What I'm saying,
that take no.
What I'm saying is that she can go on a podcast with Michelle Obama and openly say, "Oh yeah, I like younger. I want the younger men because you know they kind of do this and this and that, and they don't really have that many standards." But when the older guy was messing around with the younger chicks, y'all told him, "Oh well, he shouldn't be messing with those young girls. He should know what it comes with."
Oh, I get what he's saying. He's basically saying He's basically saying where are the women that went at Shannon for dating younger? Let's just be honest. There's a double standard. Men can be 52 and go get a little 25, 30-year-old because they're probably going to breed. But women that are older and they want kids, it's going to be harder. Because I think the older men get, the more desirable. The older we get, the less desirable because our womb, our age, and all that. And I do agree with that. You're going to have the women champion her. Yes, you go get that young thing and be like Drea Michelle. That's her name, Drea Michelle? Yeah, go be like Drea Michelle. That's weird to me.
Well, are they pursuing the same thing?
Yeah, that's Stella trying to get her groove back.
She never had
it. Do you think
that's a backlash? Because she's been doing this for years. She never had her groove because she keep having these standards. What I think is that she wants to be, she Hollywood, she LA, and older men, like she said, are more traditional. She's framing it as a bad thing, but they're more traditional, mean they're for like gender roles. Like he said, take out the trash. She probably want to be out, hanging with RuPaul. I don't know. Just saying, those are the things that she want to do. Mm-hmm. Older men are really not down with this whole LA woke thing, just the extremeness of it all. And I think that probably has a lot to do with why she can't find a man. Because if she date these young boys, of course they convince them to paint their fingernails. They're a little bit more free. They wearing dresses, and that's probably what she likes.
Why are we purporting what her?
I think that her.
Because she has an issue.
I think that her and Vivica Fox are they're twins in the situation, and I didn't see the entire interview, but it just seems like she's older and she feels like she really does want probably a relationship, but it's over for her. I mean, but she's 51, no kids, never been married, so she's just making excuses as to why she's not popping, and it's just not gonna happen. It's her and Vivica Fox. She's gonna get a BBL next, probably.
So if you're over 50, you're less likely to be happy. If I'm hearing that right, she wasted her years.
I think what she's doing.
I think that she needs to, like you said about Shannon Sharp, he needs to play his role and get out, quit trying to, date these young people. What you say? What was your exact phrase? And play his role, or you say he don't need to be out here dating like that as a man or as a woman? We're talking about age now. We also talking about the standard.
Yeah, I was talking.
That's the same advice though that we should just give her, and then maybe she will have some success.
I think that Tracee Ellis Ross is gaslighting herself to justify why she still don't have a relationship right now. She's coming up with every excuse
exactly. Like she's
yeah, I believe that as well.
Right.
I don't think it would be hard for her to find a partner though.
True.
It's not hard for Tracee Ellis Ross to get a man. Let's be clear about that. Now, would it be the man that she wants? Probably not.
Right.
But it's not hard.
That's the case for all women.
I think her saying that she doesn't want a more traditional type relationship. I don't think that makes her a bad person. Now, unfortunately, when you're that it girl, for an example, use Vivica Fox, we use Tracee Ellis Ross. When you're in that environment, and when you have all of these men and stuff at your disposal, when you have your career, like sometimes these things fall to the wayside. And unfortunately, a lot of successful women who are in the industry typically don't end up having kids or getting married, because oftentimes they will choose their career over having children or getting married, or it might not be a priority. Even Vivica Fox said at the time, she was that chick. So she had men at her disposal. She wasn't really concerned about it at that time, but time happened. And she had to ultimately choose, like, do I want my career to thrive, or do I want to be pregnant and have children? A lot of women in that industry have to choose, do I want a career or do I want a baby? And unfortunately, that is the case for some people.
Hey, but Jess, you want to know something that's interesting about the Vivica Fox?
No, Vivica Fox regrets.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So what's
right? I'm not saying they don't regret that.
What's interesting about the Vivica Fox example is that she was on an interview and she said that, when she was with 50 wanted her to fit into that traditional gender role, but she didn't really want to do that. And she admits that she's the one that messed up the relationship and that she's still in love with him to this day. So she at least took accountability for her failed relationship.
Who's to say that's applicable to Tracee Ellis Ross?
Exactly. Their relationship was public. We don't know who the last man Tracee Ellis Ross dated. So when your shit is out in the open, easily to talk about, we can't even name 3 men Tracee has dated, but we can name 3 men Vivica Fox has dated. And in that clip, she didn't even say anything negative. Well, it's something wrong with older men, and it's something more right about younger men. She just gave her experience and detailed it on what it's like dating older men and her experience with younger men. So we don't even have enough information on her dating pool to decide if she's a quality woman, if she wastes her time, and if she has a lot of baggage, because the baggage is usually ex-marriages, kids, which she has none. So what pool of baggage or bullshit could she have that has these men in her age bracket not want her? Because remember, she is a nepo baby. She's been rich since birth. So she has
but you got to remember something else too.
Yeah.
The commonality with both Tracee Ellis Ross and Vivica Fox is that they're both career women. They're Hollywood actresses. That's number one. Number two, with Vivica Fox's marriages, she was with a younger guy before, and she actually was on a DJ Vlad interview where she said that the reason that she divorced her husband is because he made less money than her.
That's the sole reason, or him making less money led to other things?
That was the main reason, because what she said was, I was with him, he made less money, and it got to a point where I got tired of being the one to pay all the bills. So that hypergamy worked against her.
And when Vivica Fox was with 50 and she left 50, that was before Power, but that was after, his big, I forget that first album he had was big, and he was kind of at like a little low point, like he wasn't really popping. He probably didn't have all that, but then once he had Power, and then he got all those other deals like the vitamin water and stuff like that, now she wants, she wanted him back. Now with that, that's just obvious. But then 50 even said, like, because she kept bringing him up, like, I don't want that. And
Anonymous had it
Tracee
right.
Ellis Ross, I just feel like she chose. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying, I think Anonymous. If that's
I think Tracee Ellis Ross.
Oh, was it a delay?
Sounds like it.
Sorry, go ahead, Danielle.
Yeah. I just feel like with Tracee Ellis Ross, she chose her career, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But to just say, and of course, in older people, men her age, it's not gonna work because she's in her ways. That's not gonna change. And and like you said, when men get older, they're more desirable. When women get older, it's like the opposite. So that's why it's more beneficial to seek a lifelong partner or whatever when you're in your prime versus 51. So now you're going to go after younger men, and let's just be completely honest, younger men with Tracee Ellis Ross, and she's extremely established, very successful.
Right.
I don't see a lot of younger men that are probably on her level or would want her for just her.
What do y'all mean? What do y'all mean by on her level? Because I take it completely different. I think that older men, one of the reasons why she said that a lot of men that are younger are more liberal is because I think that younger guys are there for a good time. They're not necessarily there for a long time.
That's it.
That's right. The second thing is that men that are older and more established, because a lot of times younger guys, they are not as established. They are not as sure of themselves. And I'm not talking about their masculinity. I'm talking about career-wise, where they're going, exactly what they want, all of that stuff. Older guys tend to be less tolerant of the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, they may entertain you, but it doesn't mean that they'll necessarily keep you around if you don't fit the mold. They not tripping. If a woman is dealing with an older guy, she said, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm done with this. All right.
You gonna let her go?
It's not that big of a deal. It's cool. So when she says that she dates younger guys because they're more liberal, they're more accepting of diversity, equity, inclusion, all of that bullshit, I don't even think that they think about it. When you talk to a guy, just in general, just in regular passing, how often does it come up about how he feels about diversity, equity? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are conversations that's not even relevant to what she's talking about. The reality is that I just think that she's just like her mother. Her mother was a person that was, kind of passed around in the industry and stuff like that. Tracee Ellis Ross herself has admitted that she has dated a lot of all of the who's and all of those type of guys. And when y'all say a guy that's on her level, in what regard? Because you got to understand that nobody gives a fuck about whether or not she was on My Wife and Kids. Like, nobody cares. Like, a guy that she would be interested in. What does that mean? I don't care.
But younger guys might care. I mean, they might have listen, these young boys out here are being hypergamous. Like, this is a trend. I mean, in the last few years, there's been a trend across the board that older women are going towards younger guys. And I think that younger guys are, especially with the way that a lot of men feel kind of displaced with everything that's going on with society and the changes, they're like, well, can't beat them, join them. So, I mean, like, they're willing to do it. And even if they're not here for a long time, then that might just be enough. Like, Tracee Ellis Ross has a lot of money. Not only was she in different TV shows, and she's the daughter of Diana Ross, she also has her own hair care line. Like, she does not need the money. So just in the same way that you guys say that established older men don't really have a tolerance for foolishness, she's in a position where she doesn't have to tolerate foolishness either. I just say,
so think about it though. So are you saying that? Hold on. So are you saying that she basically gonna become a sugar mama?
If she's willing to do it, I'm telling you, this is the strangest thing. She and I are almost the same age, and that's not something I would like. I would never choose somebody younger, but that's because I have different goals. Like, I want men to be men. I don't want to be with a man who I have to mold or I have to cultivate. Some women feel empowered by doing that. They also feel like they want to have the vibes. Like, they're with these young guys for the vibes or whatever. I don't even know the experience.
I don't think that any woman wants to, regardless of how successful she is. I think that women still don't inherently want to look up to the man that they with. And I'm not talking about a chick that's with a guy for the moment or is dating. I'm talking about like somebody that, because she said she wanted somebody that she wanted to eventually get married to and stuff, right? And when women look at it from that lens, I think that they still want that level of masculinity, regardless of what they tell Michelle Obama on the podcast. I think that every woman is looking for. I don't think women ever look for a man that stay equal.
I thought that too, Anton. I really did. And I've been shocked at like what I've seen. You're always on TikTok. The stuff that I've seen on TikTok, the things that they're saying. Now they may be doing something that's totally different from what they're saying, but
when they run into a real, when they run into a real, when I've seen it happen, I've seen women that swore and would never, but let that real one come from the hood. I didn't see if they come from the hood. They come, but they got a different type of energy, and they didn't even know they wanted it until it smacked them in the face, and all of a sudden they match. And
I don't think that any woman seeks out, or would prefer, regardless of how successful that she is, to get with a guy that she has to take care of.
Facts.
I don't think it's in their nature.
I agree with you. I don't think it's in their nature, but I think that there's a lot of women right now that are doing things that aren't necessarily what we understand is a woman's nature. I think that we're in a very unique time in human history. Never before, I mean, think about this, guys. Never before have women had this level of financial freedom, education, being able to move about freely in the world. And I don't know if we've got it all figured out. I think that women are trying to figure it out. They say things that they don't necessarily mean. I personally have a theory with all of the bad advice that women give on TikTok. I swear to God, I think that these women are trying to cull the herd. They are giving women bad advice so that they can be more desirable for the men that they want. There's this argument that the majority of successful women are looking towards the top 20% of men. And I think that some studies show that that is true. But if you guys if 80 of you are fighting for 20 men, then, what's also in a woman's nature is to,
I think that my advice to guys today is to date women that are more on their level. And it's not that they would need to combine resources or anything like that. It's because that woman has just as much to lose. The problem with those women is that they wear their careers and what they've accomplished on their sleeve, and guys don't care about that. I think that guys should do it in order to protect themselves and in order to make sure that they align with women that's going in the direction that they're going in. However, the flip side of that is those women do not exhibit, in most instances, they don't exhibit the same feminine traits as women that don't have shit.
Facts.
Yeah,
it's like they don't. If they have something to lose, they out. They're not sticking around for any amount of time. Like I can do battle by myself type shit.
Yep.
So it's rough out here.
How about Shannon Sharp then? Because maybe he should choose better. I'm just saying.
Possibly, but Shannon Sharp could very much be a Pookie, right? Like he could be very much a Pookie with money.
It seems that way.
He is. I mean, he got a bunch of kids and stuff like that, and that's fair. And most guys today, most of those type of guys, whether you want to talk about the Stephen A. Smiths, whether you want to talk about the Shannon Sharps, they are not getting married. They're not interested in getting married. They don't want to be married. They're not interested in it at all.
But you have to realize, like, it is
so. He has somebody now.
Just because you have somebody don't mean that you get married to them.
Well, no, I thought I heard him say he was like had a fiance. That was a while ago. I haven't heard anything.
Anton, I have a question.
Go
ahead. You have pretty eyes.
Do you think it's a thing where whether man or woman, you've experienced so much that it's hard to settle down with one because you've experienced so many different so many different styles, so many different flavors?
No, that's not true. I just think that I think that all guys are different. I mean, we inherently the same in some things. Like, for example, you know, beautiful women is always going to be beautiful women. And
why are you laughing, Jess?
Even if they think about it, even if they tell you that they don't see them, they see them. I think that some guys, like I'll give you an example. A lot of guys that know themselves and have a purpose, regardless of how beautiful a woman is, they not gonna fumble what they want to do or what they trying to do and what they trying to accomplish for no box. Yeah. There's nothing that you could ever get me to do to move me off of my purpose, or to fumble my bag, or to put a woman above my money. In no way, shape, or form.
Facts.